Alright, as we can see in this diagram, factorization is putting the brackets back and it is the opposite of expanding, that is where we open the brackets. Alright, you can see we have 5 different expressions and we're going to factorize them one by one. Starting with the very first one. Whenever we are factorizing, we find the common terms. By common terms, this is what I mean. We have 7x. X squared can be written as x multiplied by x because we have x squared. You can see that there is an x over here and there is an x over here. This is what we call common term, and we're going to write it outside the bracket. Now we put the brackets back, and when we put them back, we are not going to write down our common term which we have written outside. We're going to write down what is left. We have 7 left from the first term plus, and we have x left from the second term, and we're done. This is called factorization. We can check our answer. X multiplied by 7 gives you 7x. X multiplied by x gives you x squared. So nothing has been changed. We have just put the brackets back, or we can say we have written the expression in a different form, which is called factorization. Let us move on to the second one. And just for clarity's sake, I'm going to write down a square as a multiplied by a. The b is also there. And I'm going to write down b square as b multiplied by b. Because we need to pick out our common term. Alright, there are only 2 terms. In the first term, we have an a common, we have an a common. We also have a b common, and we have a b over here as well. The remaining, we have a 3 and a 2. We can't do anything about them. You also have an a left over here, and you have a b left over here. Obviously, they are not common. So, we're going to write down our common terms outside, which were an a and a b. And whatever we have left, that is going to go inside the bracket. We have 3, we have a, plus, we have 2, and we have b. We're done. And there's another thing. Always check your last line when you're done factorization and see whether you can take anything further common. Because if there is something common left inside the bracket, that means your factorization is not complete. In our next expression, we have 3 terms, and we are going to see what we can do with them. We can see immediately that k is there in all the 3 terms. Now we also have 2, 4, and 6. Just for the sake of explaining, I'm just going to write it down again. I'm going to write 6 as 2 multiplied by 3. And I'm going to write 4 as 2 multiplied by 2. Because I'm trying to find my common term. Now, it is obvious that we have 2 common in all the 3 terms. We also have k common in all 3 terms. We're just going to write down the common term which we found, which was 2k. And a reminder, the common term has to be common for all the terms given. And we write down what is left. Only x is left from the first term, 3y is left from the second term, and sorry, and 2z is left from the last term. We are checking our bracket. There is nothing we can take common further, and we're done factorizing this expression as well. The next 2 expressions have 4 terms each, and whenever you see 4 terms, automatically start factorizing them in pairs. I will show you what I mean. I'm just going to factorize them in pairs. That is for whenever you see four terms. Alright, in the first bracket we can see we have a common, sorry, in the first two terms. And the second two terms we can see that we have b common. I'm going to write this down outside a, and whatever is remaining I'm going to write it inside the bracket. From the first term only h is left, from the second term k is left. Plus the next two terms, the common term that we found was b, which is written outside, and then you write what you have left. H is left from this term and k is left from this term. Now at this stage it is very obvious that we have an entire bracket common. So we have h minus k over here and we have h minus k over here. Notice that from four terms we are now down to two terms. The plus or the minus sign between terms shows us how many terms we have. This is the first one and this is the second one. Again, we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to write down our common bracket outside, h minus k. Now you can imagine that it is gone from both the terms, so we can just write down whatever is left. Now from the first we have only a left, and from the second we just have b left, and we're done. Similarly, we're going to do the same for the last one. In the first two terms we have m common. Anything else common? No. There's only an s over here and there's no s over here, so we can't do anything. In the next two terms we have n common. T square is not common, the 2 is not there, so that is all. We write a common term outside the bracket and we write what we have left inside the bracket. We have s left over here and we have 2 and t square left. Bracket close. And now we're moving on to the next one. These two terms we notice, both of them have a negative sign, so that is common as well. We're going to write it outside, and the term common was n. And just a reminder, when you take a negative sign outside the bracket as common, the signs inside the bracket change, so both of them become a plus. We have s left, and we have 2t squared left. And like before, we have common brackets, and we're going to write them first. S plus 2t squared, this was common, and we're going to see what's left now. We have removed these, they're gone, common. And what we have left from the first term is m only, and from the second term, n only. So here we are done with factorization.